the news streams, the news stories that I want to talk about. Putin updated the nuclear doctrine between Russia and the U.S., essentially saying that if a country starts firing missiles at them, and it's not a country with nuclear capabilities, but it's being supported by a country with nuclear capabilities, then the aggressor will be considered to be both countries. Essentially saying that the U.S. is now aggressing against Russia in their opinion. So this is the way that this is framed, is that now Russia is recognizing essentially a tacit declaration of war from the U.S. Also, the DOJ is hiring lawyers, which is highly amusing. They know that their persecution of Trump was unwarranted. And then, of course, I want to talk a little bit about RFK, because the derangement about RFK is absolutely insane. But if you're watching this after it uploads, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and thumbs up and all of that sort of thing. And so let's get into it. So, so Russia, in the wake of the U.S. green-lighting long-range missiles to Ukraine and allowing Ukraine to fire these missiles, which they did last night. They fired missiles into Russia. Russia has updated their nuclear doctrine. They now say, since that this act of aggression from Ukraine indicates U.S. complicity. And so now they're going to be considering the U.S. as the aggressor in this war, which is a big step forward, because up to this point, they were considering the aggressor to be Ukraine, and they weren't very pleased with NATO, but they hadn't openly said it. Mutatio, hello, man. Are you from USA? Right, I am from the USA. Yes. This is actually one of the worst things, the worst outcomes that could have happened prior to Trump getting in office. They are leaving him a mess that is going to be nearly impossible to clean up, because now that this has happened, the demand, not only will the demands from Putin be exorbitant, but the path to a treaty is now going to cost us a whole lot more, and it's going to cost Ukraine a whole lot more. It's kind of like if you went and you slapped somebody in the face, then you tried to make up with them. It's going to be a whole lot harder if you slapped them in the face and then kicked them in the balls. But it's going to be a whole heck of a lot harder if you slapped them in the face and then their friend came and held you down while you kicked them in the balls. I mean, it's just not a good look, not a good look for us at all. And it's going to make negotiations with Russia much more difficult. Mutatio exact time, it's 10:18 a.m. where I'm at, but I'm in Central Time. I don't know if now Donald Trump can negotiate peace between Russia and Ukraine. I think that he had a chance before. Zelensky was probably going to deny any kind of treaty offered before Trump was president. Zelensky wants to do as much damage as he can. Zelensky is also a puppet of our deep state, by the way. He was installed by our CIA in 2014. The actual government of Ukraine was overthrown by us and was replaced with Zelensky, who is a puppet of our deep state. Thumbs up, by the way, if you guys would. It helps other people find the stream. Usually we have a couple hundred in here, and it's really nice to get everybody listening. Olympics fanatic, yeah, thanks, Obama. Yes, exactly. Under Obama, that was where this the issues with Ukraine really, well, that isn't where they started, but that's where they escalated. We've had our finger in that pie since the 90s, but ever since the fall of the Soviet Union, in fact. This is one of the most evil things that Joe Biden could have done. Was to escalate the war in this way. We're sending so many billions of dollars in equipment and supplies and infrastructure. We're funding, this is something I continue to rant about, by the way. We are funding the pensions and infrastructure in Ukraine. We have seniors, in their 70s and 80s working as Walmart greeters here, yet we're paying the pensions of Ukrainian retirees. That is insane. We should not be doing that. We should take care of our own. We have homeless veterans in the streets. Like, I keep saying this, and I know I say it every time the topic of Ukraine comes up, but it bears repeating. When we talk about Ukraine or Israel and all the billions that we send to them, and then we have, homeless veterans who are missing a leg that they lost in Vietnam, laying on the sidewalk at night. I was homeless in Denver for a while, and the number of homeless vets that I knew was absolutely crazy. I was homeless for about 7 or 8 months, and before I went back to school, and just one of the craziest things in the world was that so many of these people were vets, and they had so many medical issues that were a direct result of them, being in war, particularly the Vietnam War. Absolutely insane. Somebody whose name I cannot pronounce says, "Who are you exactly?" I am a guy that talks on the internet, and I just talk to the chat, and I talk about news, and I talk about cultural issues and things like that. Reba Fluff, hey bro, can you relax? I'm trying to think about boogers. Oh, that's kind of gross. It blows my mind to think that we're sitting here supporting this war. By the way, most Americans support the Ukrainian war. Even conservatives are in favor of funding Ukraine to some degree. Now it's starting to swing the other way. I think a solid chunk of Americans are highly opposed to our funding Ukraine and Israel, and it's getting more and more that way. But Israel in particular is one that a lot of Americans support, and I do not understand why. I don't know why we are so. I mean, I understand like the Christian connection to Israel. I don't think that means that we need to be funding them in the way that we are whatsoever. Kinbo, not me. Good. MPG websites. Both wars are bad. Correct. I am a non-interventionist, and I think that the way that we meddle in other affairs is just it's wrong. It's incredibly wrong. Thumbs up, by the way, guys. It helps other people find the stream. I really appreciate you guys doing that. Ed says, "Are you male or female?" Well, I'm male, but I think every stream somebody asks me if I'm trans, which is really funny. MPG websites. Yeah, I don't support Israel either. Christopher Long, I agree 100%. Good. I mean, it sounds like, well, from what I've seen, like the zeitgeist has become more and more, not necessarily isolationist, but more like, what the hell are we doing? When grocery prices are as high as they are, and when, people can't live on their Social Security pension, then I think people are finally starting to understand, hey, maybe it's not the brightest thing in the world to be funding all these foreign wars. Like, why are we spending, tens of thousands of dollars for drag shows in South America, which, yes, we did. Why are we spending all this money overseas? We should not be. It's absolutely ludicrous. MPG websites. It's because the Bible, Israel is built into it. Correct. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I understand the Christian connection, why so many Christians are supportive of Israel, but at the same time, it's like, I would rather let, I don't know. Israel seems capable of defending themselves at the moment, and Israel's not innocent in war crimes either, in my estimation. I mean, yes, it's very complicated, because like Hamas builds their military, stores all of their military supplies and puts their headquarters like under hospitals and schools. And when civilians die, then they scream foul, which, what do you do in that situation? Well, the fact is, we don't necessarily have to be involved in it to that degree. You know what I mean? Christopher Long, our military is for protecting our borders. Correct. Yes. Neptune Red, do you eat blood farts? That's disgusting. MPG websites, yeah, think for yourself. Michael Brubaker, gonna finagle them bagels. Bagels are good. Patrick Varing, look into super Zion. Is that super Zionism? Is that what you're saying? It used to be standard practice in all the churches. Zionism and Christianity is not compatible. Yeah, Christians tend to be very, very Zionistic, though. But you can't, I mean, it's, the whole situation in the Middle East is terrible. And, that one of the reasons I supported Trump was because look, you can say whatever you want about him, but he brought about the Abraham Accords. He was nominated for Nobel Peace Prizes for that stuff. So that's actually, like, the people that are opposed to Donald Trump, that's something that they will never bring up. I mean, that is a very, very good reason to vote for the guy. Everything else excluded, by the way. That in and of itself is one of the best single issue reasons to vote for a candidate. Thumbs up if you would, guys. Diana Safira, I'm from Russia, and please don't believe P. Prepare for lies. I'm sure there are a lot of them. James Yu, dumb. Trump was not nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize because the Abraham Accords. The Abraham Accords is what led to the conflict we have today. Disagree. I disagree that that's what led to the conflict we have today. Our blatant interventionism in the Middle East and the constant back and forth between the Muslims and the Jews is what led to the conflict today. And Trump was nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. So no. So let's go on to the next thing. The DOJ has lawyered up. Now, this is something that's very this is very controversial, but it amuses me, so I'm going to talk about it. And so the DOJ knows that the Trump administration incoming is going to have some retribution for everything that they've done. And so of course they're going to they're lawyering up, knowing that many of the charges that they tried to bring against Trump were complete fabrications, and they know that Matt Gaetz and Donald Trump are going to come after them. It's very amusing. Oh, there's still more chats about Israel. Let's see. James E says, why did Hamas cite the movement of the capital and embassy to Jerusalem as one of their key gripes? Because Abraham Accords supporting settlements in the West Bank. Look, number one, I don't really care what Hamas has to say. Hamas was going to find a way to attack Israel one way or another. Hamas absolutely hates Israel, and they hate the U.S., and they're going to continue to do what they're going to do. What right do they have to change to say that Israel can't bring their embassy to Jerusalem? They have none. Abraham, of course, supporting settlements in the West Bank. These people on both sides should not have this sort of this land that's so sacred to both of them. I'm sorry, you don't just get to declare land sacred and then kill the people from the other side that move into it. You just don't get to do that. Like, maybe if you're going to have like a border and it's part of your country and you're going to defend your border, sure, but then deport them. You don't get to just start blowing up people that live on a piece of land that you think is holy. Sorry, you can't do that. Olympics fan says October 7th is what led to the conflict today. That's correct. BBL Caleb, do you live by any bridges? I do not. Shodo, it's religion that led to the conflict, but it's a double-edged sword because there will always be conflict without religion. That is true. BGN Newman, trust in Trump. We'll see. Patrick Varing, sorry, correction. Supersessionism. Okay, I'll look it up. Judo until we're nearing type 1. James, let's move on now that I made an ass of myself. No, I just can't sit here in dead silence waiting for people to comment. That's not how this works. Like, who's going to watch if I'm just sitting there saying nothing? Bang switch. Putin bent Trump over on the world stage in Helsinki and gave him a soccer ball for a return. Jeez. James said, oh, okay, so when I present information that counters your narrative to the Abraham Accords led to conflict, you just brush it off as you don't care. No, I brush it off as I disagree, because I don't, the people that are in that region, like, they're living in a barbaric way, and the way that they're living and the way that they're using their religion to justify this. I'm not saying that Hamas is the only side that's wrong here. Israel is not right either. With the fact that they both are laying claim to a land, calling it holy, and then trying to use violent and lethal force to keep other people off of it is wrong. And that's why I don't think we should be involved. ACB, liberal Democrat radicalism is the #1 terrorist threat to society. ABCXYZ, Kamala 2028. Yeah, I think Kamala's done with national level politics. She got destroyed. Daniel Troop, I'm 36, almost 37. I don't remember this much divide in people. If anyone older than me, was the world ever this tense? Yeah, I don't know, man. It definitely changed since about 2012. Like, the zeitgeist has changed significantly. And I mean, I'm 30, and I can feel the difference just even from when I was in college. Daniel Troop, I'm 30. Oh, no, I read that. Shodo, a bunch of religious nut jobs over there. That's true. James you know nothing about the current conflict, and you make sweeping broad generalizations, can't speak about specifics as to what happened in the Abraham Accords. I speak in generalizations about that particular conflict because number one, I think they're both wrong, and number two, I just don't think we should be involved in it. Like Trump wouldn't help negotiate peace. Like if they had an agreement that negotiated peace and Hamas had a problem with it, Hamas is a terrorist organization. Why do we care what their justification is when they're using little children as human shields? I don't care what Hamas's gripe is. Hamas is evil. Why are we sympathizing with them? Jerry Last just got here. I'm turning 50 soon. No, not even during the Cold War. Carpe diem. Thought Trump would stop it all. He said if I'm elected, it will stop on day one. Well, he's been elected, so what's up? Well, he's not president yet, but what Biden did in Ukraine is essentially taking that power away from Trump. Trump will probably not be able to end that war quickly now, because, like I said at the start of the stream, if you escalate things to the degree that they have, then the backtracking of it and the negotiation that is going to reverse what's going on over there now that these missiles have been fired off, the concessions from Ukraine are going to have to be much greater. So that's going to make it far more difficult to negotiate it. James Yu, if the Abraham Accords brought us peace, how come there's war right now? Because October 7th, dude. Kukumba, gotta wait till January before Trump is sworn in. James Yu, bro, but the Abraham Accords was us being involved. It was us being involved in the negotiation. It wasn't us being involved in funding the military endeavors in the same way. It was different. Busta says they cooked babies. Hamas stinks. Yeah, Hamas is terrible. Shudo, when they say day one, they mean day one in office. Okay, I'll let you guys argue about that. Daniel Tripp, so we agree that around this time the Mayan calendar predicted the end that everything changed. Makes me wonder how much of string theory is true. That's deep. That's deep. I don't know anything about that. ABCXYZ, we have to support Israel because if Israel falls, then we will lose our strategic partner in the Middle East. We need Israel to keep Iran in line. Why? We can handle Iran, I think. I think we can do that. Hey, thumbs up if you guys are enjoying the stream, by the way. I do these most days, about an hour or so, talk about news stories, talk to the chat, see what you guys think, argue with people if they want to argue, and yeah, it's fun. Christopher Long, Israel has a right to defend their country. War is hell. Nations concur. Other nations, the strong will survive. Sure, they have the right to defend their country. Never said they didn't. But I don't think we should be funding them in the way that we are. But like I said, the thing we started talking about was Ukraine, by the way. The whole Israel thing came up as an ancillary topic. But yeah, I'm opposed to that as well. I'm a non-interventionist. Carpe diem, Putin just broadcast disrespectful photos of the First Lady on our TV. Trump said nothing about, well, what is he going to say about it, you know? There's not much to be said. Like, she was a model, and she did nude photo shoots, and they posted them. I mean, that is what it is. Dan Provet, Trump was right. The Republican Party is the party of common sense. I am not a Republican, so I don't subscribe to either party's ideology, but right now, the Republicans make more sense to me. Shudo, does Trump really care about Putin acting childish? The U.S. military is far greater than Russia's. Putin's army is a child to the U.S. military. The problem is when nukes start flying, the size of your military doesn't matter. Busta, we need to go back to the 90s. Well, I'd be a child. I was born in the 90s, so I guess we could go back to the 90s. Jerry Lass, almost as bad as women who get abortions and their doctors. James Cohinner, Jim Bob, Trump 2024. Biden seems to be trying to start a war, or at least complicate things. Trump, yeah, the new doctrine that Putin has just described, that he announced for the new nuclear doctrine, essentially says that the U.S. was considered the aggressor now, and that's what I'm saying. What Biden just did made it very hard to renegotiate this. Zayan, Israel are the blacks, Latinos, and I am and Indians. They are not God's chosen people. Sure, whatever. I mean, I'm not religious, so I don't really care about that. Shudo, Daniel Stream. Oh, talking to Daniel. Let's see here. Javier Ruiz says, MAGA. Angel Star, they're sending hubby to Poland because of Ukraine. It's BS. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Daniel Troop, string theory, there's multiple theories, is basically alternate universes and possibilities to create. No, string theory is that, you know, matter is made up of strings of particles, and it's all interconnected, right? Oh. Jerry Law says GRU have way more. Yeah, Russia actually does have more nukes than we do. Yeah. But a lot of theirs are like Cold War era nukes, so they're not as effective. But a nuke is a nuke. If they start throwing them around at everybody, they've got a little more wiggle room to bomb a lot of people. Dave Bruin says NATO, Rothschild's NWO. I am for withdrawing from NATO. I am 100% for that. Ben N, as a business owner, Trump's labor board will put a stop to overtime pay. I can lower the cost of my goods. Even I have to pay more for importing under tariffs, even if I have to pay more. Okay. Vladimir Stojanovic, unfortunately, the grenades do not know who is a soldier and who is a civilian. That's true. Jerry Lass, I have big fingers, women like them, cell phones don't. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next topic. So I usually spend about 15-20 minutes talking about one thing, and I usually go for about 3. Extended gaming is sure starving to death because you don't know how tariffs work, dumbass. I do know how tariffs work, and I made a video about it. Okay, so the next story I wanted to talk about, the DOJ arming up. They lawyered up. They're getting ready for Trump and Matt Gaetz to come after them, which is kind of an amusing situation to me. I think it's really funny because they did bring a lot of litigation against Trump that was not valid. It was not even ever going to amount to anything. They just wanted to throw as much shit at the wall and try to get something to stick is what they were doing. And now they're scared. And they should be. Case by case, when you walk through, the documents case and so on, a lot of the litigation, well, it's all been dropped now, and it's been dropped for a reason. There's nothing that was there. They just wanted to make something stick. And the same with the January 6th case and all of that. Although I don't know if Matt Gaetz will get confirmed. I personally don't believe he will. I don't think that the Senate is going to confirm Gaetz. Although I saw a story today that Trump is going to individual senators talking to them about Matt Gaetz, so who knows. Mr. O completely ignored my comment. I'm sorry, there's a lot of comments. I didn't see it. Mr. O, oh, there you go. You're not religious, yet you've fallen for the trap of politics, a trap you were not in 10 years ago. Your religion is politics. I've always been interested in politics. I am not religious, but yeah. I don't know. Let's see. Yes. For those reading this, your IQ dropped by 10 points. You'll never get those 3 seconds back in your life. Do yourself a favor and dislike and don't recommend this channel. Dang, that guy's mean. Let's see. Let's see here. Donald Wilkinson, who's paying for those lawyers? Right, well, taxpayers are. We're paying for those lawyers. It's great. Shudo is talking to Daniel. Let's see. Ben and Gaetz just needs to just fade away after the sex with children for money crap. That I believe is after investigation, everything was dropped. That was already investigated. I don't think that that's true. I'm not super familiar with Gaetz. The general consensus from people that are not extremely terrified of him and hate him is that that particular thing was a smear campaign. But I can look into Gaetz. I don't particularly care too much based on, things being dropped. It's innocent until proven guilty, right? So if the investigation about that was dropped, then I guess we trust it. What else are you to do? You can't just walk around saying it's not, it is real, if all of their information was not actually leaked, which I don't believe it was. But if it was, I'd be happy to look at it. I'm not married to Matt Gaetz. I think he's a douchebag. Personally, I think he's a douchebag from everything I've read. But as far as having sex with children, I don't think that actually happened. Matthew Moore, you from Seattle? I grew up in Auburn, Kent, and Seattle. Hadn't been there in 7 years. Had to go to Seattle recently. Holy crap, the Democrats destroyed that place. Yeah, I left because of that. It's very sad what's happened to Seattle, actually. Yeah. Mr. O, no, you haven't. It's clear you fall victim to talking points and the fifth branch of government. Obama literally made it legal to allow propaganda. What are you talking about? You're just sitting here making allegations about me without showing any. Like, what do you mean? How is it clear I've fallen a victim to talking points? I tend to read news across the spectrum and make decisions for myself, but sure. I mean, if that's what you think, have fun. I don't really care. By the way, there's 160 people watching and only 15 likes. Can you guys, everybody give a thumbs up? It helps a lot. Helps other people find the stream. Tommy, is this due to Trump voter or mentally challenged? I did vote Trump, but I am not mentally challenged. I actually hold a master's degree. How's that sound? Jerry Lass, I'm an atheist. I'm interested in politics. That was a stupid statement. Yeah, I agree. King Master Lord, drop to subscribe just to spite that comment. Oh, 7 thanks, dude. No, without religion, at least there's progress. Supposing people aren't careless, but religion is careless, so we're still better off as a species, demanding it for the support of verifiable answers. See, I like, as far as religion, like, people be religious. It doesn't bother me, and I have respect for a lot of religious people and a lot of religious beliefs. Even there's a lot of religious beliefs that do, I think, help people who wouldn't be as good of people be better people. Doesn't make it any more true, but I don't really care if people are religious. Scott Fraser, well, he's dead now. Bill Gates, yeah. Busta, when will the Diddy clan in Hollywood come out? Dude, I don't know. I really hope that Trump drops the Diddy list. That would be great. I would love to see it. I think we would learn a lot about the celebrities that endorsed Kamala Harris. Shudo. Politics can be treated like religion, but it's a truly concrete system based on something tangible, a functioning society. Religion must have similar goals, but it's largely pseudoscience. Well, yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, when you have to invent metaphysics to make your religion work, like the Catholics do, then it's fundamentally different from politics. Again, that doesn't state anything about the truth of religion or Catholicism specifically. It's just that you can see what's going on. I don't think religion, now ideologies, like political ideologies like communism or republicanism, they can be very religious like. So Donna Wilkinson, so we pay the investigators and defense attorneys, no conflict there. Yeah, isn't it funny? Ben N. Gates' business partner was sentenced for making fake IDs for young girls and prostituting them out in Florida. Yikes, dude. Carpe Diem said he paid through Venmo on his relative's phone. Bill Rodweiler, it's funny you call Matt Gaetz what you do, but Donald Trump has done the same thing and you support him. Donald Trump didn't, as far as I know, Donald Trump didn't use Venmo to pay for sex or, I'm talking about Matt Gaetz, just particular things he's said about, and the way he acts toward other people. He just comes off, I can't even remember. I read an article yesterday about it, and there's a bunch of different like quotes from him that were just like, oh my God, this guy just seems like someone I wouldn't hang out with. But I don't really know. Trump definitely didn't do the same sorts of things that Gates is accused of. If you're talking about the E. Jean Carroll thing, yeah, no. No. I've got into that like 10 different times, and it's just no. Busta, some people attack others and call it debating. Yeah, they do. It's all right. It happens all the time. Dental misorder. I'm retarded and have small pee-pee. Jeez. ASIC said Gates has a total of 2 years as a lawyer. Is clearly not qualified to be AG. I don't necessarily think years of experience matters. I mean, for example, I've been a therapist for going on 3 years, and there's a lot of therapists that have been doing it for 20 years that my outcomes are better than theirs because, they suffer burnout or, they've gotten too comfortable in their job. They're not as, they're not as high energy. So, I mean, experience doesn't necessarily mean anything. Life says, good morning, Superman. I hope that nickname do not offend you. Dude, I've heard that from a bunch of people. Love God First says, boring. Neat. Well, you don't have to be here. Nobody's making you. Josh Allen. Hey, good touchdown on Sunday, by the way. People on the internet are crazy. I've always voted left for 22 years. This time I see the liberal bias on the news. God bless America and Donald J. Trump. Friedenker. German hate. A6, you're mentally challenged if you voted for Trader Trump. Nate, I mean, when you come in and say things like that, do you think that it encourages people to listen to what you have to say? Like, you're either a troll or you're just so brainwashed that, you don't care. So, whatever. Life, what did you just say? Let me put on my Superman glasses. Jerry Last, the less people practice and believe their religions, the better they are. I mean, I personally think that, yeah. Busta, I hope Trump drops the JFK list. Yeah, I want the JFK file open, and I think that because of Trump's alliance with RFK, it's gonna come out. Yeah, I'm gonna scroll down a little bit and make sure that I can catch up before we go into the next topic, because there's a lot. Josh Allen says, you study Jordan Peterson. I've read it. I've read his 2 books. But I wouldn't say I study him. I've listened to some of his lectures from back in the day when he was teaching at it was a U of T. I listened to a lot of his psychological lectures while I was in college, and I liked it. I like a lot of what he has to say. I don't necessarily agree with everything, but I do like Jordan Peterson to a degree. Sigmar Chadwick, treats and adversity. You mean threats? And I don't know the answer to that. I don't think it's possible to know the answer to that. Ben in, yeah, you're right. Why do you have to give Israel aid when they give people free health care? Where's my health care? That's what I'm saying. We're paying the pensions in Ukraine, dude. And we have 80-year-olds who are Walmart greeters. How fair is that? ABCXYZ. Trump has done some fucked up things, but I don't think he's ever been involved with minors. I don't think so either. Rethink Inc. Why be empathetic? Because I know what it would be like if I was having a tough time and people weren't empathetic toward me, I guess. A6, comparing a lawyer to a physical therapist is bizarre. No, it isn't. It's the same principle. It's in every single field. It's doctors, lawyers, construction workers. I mean, look at like a carpenter, for God's sake. Like a new carpenter who's all gung-ho to go and has the basic skills can often do a better job than one who's been doing it for 20 years and has got comfortable and is wanting to take his time and bid the contract out. And it's not stupid. It makes perfect sense. And if you don't understand the point of an analogy, then maybe you're bizarre. Solitary Echo. Trump owned Putin, his wife, and new son. Even Russian news letting Trump know his place. Bully. Wow, bro, you got to fix that. I can't read your comment. Shudo. I agree with Rethink that religion is a great way to guide someone through to a prosperous life. It's a double-edged sword, though, because you must turn a blind eye to the scientific process to a degree. Yeah. Bust Trader Trump sounds like a store I'd shop at. Oh yeah, like Trader Joe's. King Master Lord. Oh, talking to somebody else. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit. The Cosmic Show. What's up? Ask yourself, what did Aristotle Onassis gain with the JFK death? Or just ask yourself, what were his plans for the Federal Reserve? Chris Davis, Putin's useful idiot, sold out U.S. years ago. Disagree. Fuck the Eve. Oh, says I got your location from your IP address. No, you didn't. Let's see. Scroll down a little more. Checkman Bisco. What would you do if an 18-pound camel from Turkmenistan tried to lick your foot harness? So what in the world are you talking about? Carpe Diem. When Trump terminates the ACA, what will MAGA say? MAGA recipients benefit the most. Trump won't terminate the ACA because, and I'll tell you exactly why. As a healthcare professional, the ACA is nearly impossible to overturn without a complete system put in place first, because otherwise half your population is going to have severe health issues and a ton of them are going to die. And beyond that, there's too much money to make, and to rewrite healthcare in general would shake up the medical system to the point that most of your medical facilities would go out of business if they just terminated it outright. They have to have a transition to a different plan. The way that it's written right now, it would be a catastrophe for the medical industry. So it won't happen until somebody takes the time to write a new bill, to write new healthcare legislation, and that will take years. They're not just going to terminate it outright. Let's see. Solitary Echo. Trump is a real-life pedophile who was fucking teens with Epstein. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. The Apex Mindset. 34 felonies, bub. 34 felonies that are all going to be dropped because they were misdemeanors that were upgraded to a felony because the judge told them that if they believed that those misdemeanors were completed to cover up another crime, a crime which was never adjudicated and never identified, then they had to say that it was a felony, and they did, and so that is why Trump was found guilty on that. However, that case, I think this week actually, is it today? either today or next Tuesday, judge is going to rule on whether or not to drop it, and I believe that it will be dropped. And if it's not dropped, it's going to be overturned on appeal. Not even a question. Cosmic Show, dude, did a mod remove my comment? Mod versus mod Civil War. Jackie O blasted JFK. I didn't see that. Rethink Inc. If someone doesn't base morals on God, why would they care about life? What makes indifference wrong? Well, you're able to reason yourself into morality, but I mean, like the short answer is you don't need God for morals. You can use like your empathy, and like humans are born with a conscience to some degree. Have you read Sam Harris's The Moral Landscape? Sam Harris has a terminal case of Trump derangement syndrome, but The Moral Landscape is actually a decent book. Robin Wyckoff will be overturned. Yeah. Mr. O, Trump literally said he would smash his daughter if they weren't related. His wife is a nude model for all eyes to see. Why you guys just keep bringing up all this like irrelevant stuff? And he didn't say that. He said that he was talking about somebody was always dating beautiful women that are, beautiful women like his daughter, saying she's beautiful. I mean, Trump says some weird stuff, and I don't particularly care about that one actually. Bob Cox, thought you were the only mod. You would see it. Mr. Bungemoid and Jesus Christ are both mods, but I don't think they're here right now. Busta says, if you say 34 felonies, I say 34 attempts added to his assassination attempts. They fail. Carpe Diem, the only thing that saved ACA was John McCain's vote last time. Where is your proof? What do you know about the ACA exactly? Why don't you go look into the ACA and see what it would take to replace it? Checkman Bisco, stop saying blue states fund red states. Remember, there are Republicans working and living in blue states and independents. I didn't say that, but you must be talking to somebody else. I'm gonna scroll down a bit because I'm losing you guys. Checkman Bisco, no, he didn't. Oh, Joe Runzer, the charges were past the statute of limitations. Yeah, they literally changed New York law in order to prosecute Trump on those grounds. It's absolutely stupid. Hey, thumbs up if you would, guys. It helps other people find the stream. I really appreciate it. Jerry Lass, everybody knows those cases are bullshit. Even the ones saying it, saying they don't are pretending. Just knock it off. It makes you sound stupid. Yeah, that and the E. Jean Carroll thing. Everybody knows those are bullshit. Everybody knows it. Attack Button Gaming, and Biden's son can smoke crack with hookers on camera. So, yeah, I mean, nobody's out here saying Trump is this moral, beautiful, wonderful guy. I actually don't particularly like Donald Trump. Donald Trump was the better option right now, and his transition team, particularly RFK, is what made me vote for him. I have a hard time listening to Trump talk. Because he uses so many exaggerations, but it's the way he's always been. That's just what he is, and I think it will be good for America when Trump gets through this presidency and the movement that he started, because I believe that MAGA is actually a good thing. I think when they get the next person in, I think it will be even better than Trump. Trump was just the polarizing figure that they needed to make this happen. And that's my opinion, personally. Fuck the evil thing says, why won't you respond to my derogatory comments? Because I don't care, dude. Yeah, and I can't read your username out loud because I don't want to. Crystal McKinley says, hi, hello. Joe Runzer, there's no such thing as blue states, just blue cities. That's actually correct. Busta says, Trump tweets weird stuff. It's all to get the snowies triggered. I don't even like the guy and can tell. Yeah, exactly. Well done. When he takes your shit, then you will regret. Sure. Homeway says, go suck your wife's boyfriend cock, bitch. Oh my god, you guys are mad. You guys are mad. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Checkman Bisco, is it possible to rig a jury? I think it is, and increase the amount paid to E. Jean Carroll because he pissed the jury off hundreds of millions of dollars is pretty messed up. Yeah, well, the thing is, if you're Donald Trump, there's no way to get a fair trial anyway, because everybody has an opinion of you. Like, you just can't. If Donald Trump goes to trial anywhere in the U.S., then every single thing he's ever done is so publicized and people are so polarized on him, you cannot get jurors that don't know or have an opinion about it. It's crazy. Let's scroll down. Let's see here. D-Mash says, you're an idiot. Must be nice. Sweet. A6, only morons think Trump isn't a pedophilic sexual abuser. No. Just no. Edward Koch, even scumbag Democrats know but won't admit that every Trump conviction shows the corruption in the justice system. That is true. And that's why the DOJ is lawyering up. Hey, look at that. We came full circle at 39 minutes. That's right where we were supposed to end that bit. That's great. Buster, that was a hoot. Go to your wife's BF. I'm dying laughing here. Milk came out my nose. D-Mash, he's a rapist and you know it. No, he's not. You're ridiculous. AJ, you like Brainworm Guy? I do. I like RFK. Yeah. Well done. Open your red eyes and leave the cunt. God damn, you guys are brutal. There's people that are really brutal, dude. Hey, you should at least, if you're gonna like come in and just say all this stuff, at least like say it in a super chat so I get something out of it. Actually, it's fine. I get something out of it anyway. It's funny. Let's see. Josh Allen, it's been over 8 years of bullshit from these libs, and after the win, their bullshit means nothing now. They don't understand why they lost. That's the crazy thing. Like, I didn't support Trump in 2016. I didn't support Clinton either. I actually supported Bernie Sanders. And, the nonsense from the left is what actually made me more interested in Donald Trump, because they sit there and scream shit that we all know is not true. So, I mean, it's just insane. They don't know why they lost. They continue to yell that. I froze, guys. I froze up. I'm back, I think. No, I'm not. Time's not rolling. I'm back. Okay, sorry. I don't know what just happened there. I think YouTube didn't like me. No, the sooner the left realize that that Trump supporters need to be spoken to as people, and you need to come across the aisle and talk, the sooner they're going to win again. But the left don't know that, and they don't know why they lost. It's insane. Mr. O, he exaggerates and you dismiss it, yet you hold every word the rest of candidates say to the fire. How do you know? You never heard me talk about another candidate. And I don't, by the way. Let's see. I'm going to scroll down a bit. Checkman Bisco, do you think pro-choice people should thank their parents for being pro-life? I personally think anyone who is alive and pro-choice is a hypocrite. No, but I mean, pro-life, pro-choice, like abortion is such a complicated issue for so many people. But really, to me, like the only thing that makes sense is like you know, pro-life, but with the exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. Like, who could argue against that? Really, you know. Make it make sense. This guy's an idiot. Report him for pedophilia. Jesus, you guys are awful. Attack button gaming. All these anti-Trump idiots need to remember that there are more of us that voted for him, and we are the ones that aren't pussies. So enjoy the keyboard fights. Fairies, jeez. Gratidine +1 sub. Thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, if you guys want to like and subscribe, I do these lives most days. And I make videos, standalone videos. In fact, I have one uploading right now about RFK, and I uploaded one earlier. So it would be great if you would subscribe and give a thumbs up. I'm trying to figure out a way to monetize this. I've got a couple thousand subscribers, but I don't make a whole awful lot of money off YouTube, but maybe one day. I think it's fun. The reason I would want to make money off of it is like, I would like to be able to do more, and you can't justify spending the time to do more. But I think I'll always do my job. I don't think I'd want to be a professional YouTuber. Uh-oh. Am I muted? Am I still muted, guys? D-Mash, this guy definitely fucks kids. He looks exactly like Jared from Subway. Yikes. I did used to work at Subway. But no, I was sexually abused as a kid. So, of all the people that might be that way, I'm very low on the list. No, never in a million years, because I've seen firsthand what it would do to people. But also, I think that people that are pedophiles deserve the death penalty. In fact, if you abuse a kid, death penalty. Idaho got it right, guys. Idaho got it right. Okay, good. Thanks, guys. Jerry Last, Dim's just mad their women are shaving their green hair and not putting out. Yeah, I know, dude. The 4B movement is amusing. Grenadine. Remember, leftoids always accuse others of what they do. Reaper 362, they have no life, and they want free shit. You're good, bro. Thanks. The Infuma, Idaho got it right. Yeah, they did. Dmash said, of course you did. Whatever. I mean, what do you want me to say? Like, I can't prove that. I'm here talking. If you don't like what I have to say, go away. Like, I mean, that's fine. Sit here and talk because engagement is good for my channel, but I honestly don't give a shit. Josh Allen says, you look like the Kolinsky kids in my area. Oh, God. A6, then you think pedophile Trump isn't a pedophile. Otherwise, yes. Bob Cox, Trump was right. These people are sick. That's right. Attack Button Gaming. I vote for women to have real vaginas. Jeez. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about. So everything that people are saying about RFK. Now, as somebody who supported RFK from the get-go, they talk about how he's a radical who's going to end vaccines, and he's just, you know, this terrible anti-vaxxer. And he's crazy about fluoride in the water and all of that sort of thing. So I'm going to start in reverse order because the fluoride thing, there is a massive study. It's a study that is a review of a lot of studies. It's called a meta review, a meta-analysis that found that higher levels of fluoride in drinking water do indeed correlate with more issues with developmental disorders, with lower IQ and things like that. He is not crazy. I think there's only 7 countries in the world, maybe a little more than that, that actually put fluoride into their drinking systems. But it's banned in many countries, even in Europe. It's banned in a lot of countries. He's not crazy, and he's not an extremist. That's something that needs to be re-examined. And if you're using fluoride toothpaste, by the way, there's no you're good. There's no benefit to on top of that to having fluoride in your drinking water. No benefit at all. Okay, so there's that. Now with the vaccines, RFK on multiple occasions has actually said you should probably vaccinate your kids, talking about like MMR and things like that. His gripe is about bad science being done on vaccine studies, particularly the COVID study nowadays. And yeah, he's right. And the reason he's been targeted and called an anti-vaxxer as much as he has is because he has brought up the fact that pharmaceutical companies that develop vaccines are not held accountable for any vaccine injuries, which is ludicrous. I made a video back in March when this study with 99 million participants came out about the COVID vaccines and the injuries that it causes, the increases in Guillain-Barré, the increases in strokes, the increases in incidence of heart complications. All of that is true. And as someone who worked in the hospital during COVID on a proning team in the COVID wing, let me just tell you, it's absolutely correct. And so many times we saw people coming into the hospital, you know, the incidence of Guillain-Barré jumped like crazy with the COVID vaccine. The studies need to be released, and the data from Moderna and Pfizer, which is set to not be fully released until 2076, is the craziest. It's got to come out. It's got to come out. It's got to come out. We've got to have the answers to this. People must make informed decisions. It's insane. But RFK is not crazy. He's actually pretty much a moderate who endorses good science on vaccines. Anything else that people tell you is an exaggeration or a lie. By the way, thumbs up, guys. We've got about 10% thumbs up to viewers. I'd love to get that number up. It helps a lot. Helps other people find the stream. Helps people find my channel. And subscribe if you're not subscribed. I enjoy doing these live streams with you guys. All right, I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Nonut Harvazel. I don't think Putin will listen, considering Trump doesn't want to give Russia the 4 territories. Yeah, that's true. Justice Tyler, what standard are you outputting on my boy RFK? None. I'm a big RFK guy. I like him a lot. His Make America Healthy Again initiative is one of the greatest things. Bradford, do vaccines cause autism? I don't believe they do, necessarily. There's a correlation, but that doesn't equal causation. I think it's that the autism epidemic is more to do with maybe the number of vaccines, but also like foreign chemicals that go into people. I personally, like, my personal opinion is that vaccines probably don't cause autism. We don't know for sure. The incidence has definitely gone up as the incidences of vaccines have gone up, but I think it has more to do with diet, the poisons in our water and air, the runoff from fields and agricultural endeavors into our aquifers. Those sorts of things affect developing children far more than anything else. D-Mash, cowards are always fun to make fun of. Neat. Like you hiding behind a keyboard and making fun of me. Joe Rosner, he's not going to end vaccines. He's going to end the fake ones. I don't think he's going to end vaccines anyway. I think he's going to force a recall on vaccines that cause too many injuries, and also to force pharmaceutical companies to be liable for the vaccines that they produce, in which case they would stop. They would probably pull a bunch of vaccines if he was able to do that, because the, what is it called? The PREPA Act of 2005 basically gives them complete immunity. I mean, Reagan, I believe, was the one that put the initial Immunity Act for vaccine producers, but Bush did it again in 2005. They either modified it or put in a new one. I don't remember which it was, but 2005 was the last one. Joshua Phillips, there's a nutrient argument I'm aware of, but there's also an English people's teeth argument to be had. Jeez. Yeah, no, the fluoride thing is, I mean, that research has been done. Like, if you have fluoride toothpaste, you're okay. Donna Wilkinson, why do people get on here and say such awful things? Shouldn't you be on a different channel? Being so vile is unnecessary and rude. RFK is trying to make us healthier. Why is that bad? Dude, it's the internet. People just do that. People just do it. King Master Lord, anything the left says, translate as the opposite, and they're completely honest. There you go. Busta says, but FDA says fluoride is life-saving and antihistamines are useless. Yeah, the FDA says people that retire from the FDA approval boards for vaccines, do you know what they end up doing for the rest of their life? They end up taking salaries from pharmaceutical companies because they push through things, medications and vaccines that should not be allowed. And that is a fact. There is no disputing that. Stumble, repent, repeat. God forbid we have water that's just water. I know, right? West Bake. RFK has to be better than what he's replacing for sure. With that. Dude, I know. Have you seen a picture of them side by side? It's one of the funniest things in the world. By the way, thumbs up, guys, if you would. It helps a lot. The Infuma. RFK is a straight G. He's spot on regarding drinking fluoride and injecting mercury. Only uneducated and financially incentivized people disagree. Correct. D-Mash, Mr. Man-Titties loves Mr. Brainworm. What a surprise. Probably wants to blow elongate musky nuts, too. Jeez. Man-Titties. I got man-titties. That's because I bench more than you. I bench probably half your weight, because you probably weigh about 600 pounds, Mr. Internet Warrior. Grant Harvard. Bro, you people crazy. Do y'all know how bad chicken pops was? RFK saying we don't need it is fucking crazy. Chicken pox, first of all, and second of all, RFK didn't say you didn't need it. I think you're misunderstanding his position. He said that the benefit of vaccines is overstated because in the time that we've developed the vaccines, our diet has changed quite a bit, and the availability of medications has changed. We've eradicated a bunch of the endemic diseases. There's a lot of things that have changed, particularly living conditions, that account for availability of medical care, of course, that account for the change in fatalities. And then also that vaccine companies need to be liable for their own products. So I think you're misunderstanding it. Edward Cook, in the civil case, Carol could not remember where in the store, even what year. The only detail she remembers is that she's wearing a dress the designer hadn't made yet. Yeah, I remember that. That's funny. Cuba Constitution Day, 1940. Jesus, why do you get these usernames that are so hard to read? Wake up, America. Don't let the traitor system make an idiot of you. Busta, some of these people in the comments shouldn't have kids. Just saying. Yeah. D-Mash, he's not crazy. Tell his entire family that, dipshit. People that are trying to save the Kennedy name as Democratic royalty don't like that one of them decided that he's not going to side with the Democrats. Amazing. Josh Allen, my body, my choice went right out the window with the COVID shot. Then I was banned from social media for asking questions. I thought the left protected free speech. Well, they did for a while, and it was the right that was the anti-free speech people. Now it's flipped completely. Time on my side. We've only known about fluoride since the 80s when they started putting it in the water. I think it was 45 that they started putting it in the water, actually. Be better to find areas like like Maine that have high lithium in the water, which shown to lower mental disorders. I don't know anything about that. I know they use lithium to treat like bipolar and stuff like that, but you wouldn't want too much of that either. The Cosmic Show. RFK is coming for your guns. Mark my words. New Mexico's governor wanted that position as well, and it's a total loon. RFK doesn't have the power to come for your guns, Marauder. Jerry Last, don't drink water. It has fluoride. Drink Brondo. It has electrolytes. I mean, Prime. Oh my God, no. Don't drink Prime, dude. That stuff has so many forever chemicals. There's a massive class action lawsuit going on about it right now. William Schmidt, the fluoride in drinking water is more for people who don't brush their teeth. Yeah, well, I brush my teeth and I get enough fluoride as is. I mean, I don't personally think that it's like at the age that I am now and all of that, it's not going to affect me. It's more for like developing children. In fact, there's a whole bunch of studies showing that women that drink fluoridated water, if they have little boys, those little boys are much more likely to have developmental disorders. Grant Harvard, I'm happy my son doesn't have to go through chicken pops and bad flus I went through as a kid. It's not chicken pops, it's chicken pox. P-O-C-K-S. Or I guess in this case, P-O-X. But it's pox. P-O-C-K-S is like, it's the mark is a pock mark. It's a pock mark, get it? So pox, it became P-O-X, but initially it was P-O-C-K-S. But now like smallpox and chickenpox are both spelled with a P-O-X, but it's not a pop, it's a pock. Like one individual dot is a pock. Gary Richards, Trump is a sex offender. Oh my God, we've been through that. Trump is not a sex offender. The E. Jean Carroll case was absolutely staged, and everyone knows it who's being honest. Black Lab Insanity. Love how I've let a man who's not cognitively there sign paperwork to give Ukraine billions in weapons. Yeah, and to give them long range missiles. Russia today they redrew their nuclear doctrine, so we are now considered their aggressor. It's insane. JMDZ. People who work in hospitals can afford homes. Some of them can, many can't. Black Lab Insanity, giving President Trump a mess to deal with. Yeah, that's the point. Greg Skeen, RFK just wants these things studied and regulated if needed, just not forced on us. Correct. Eric McCambly, RFK's running mate was radical. I don't actually know much about Nicole Shanahan. I know she wanted to pull the Moderna vaccine for COVID, but I think that was probably a good idea. The COVID vaccines were fine. Literally one of the greatest things Trump helped do. No, they were not fine. I made a video called, well, I don't remember what it is. There's one uploading today you can watch though, where I talk about it. There was a study done with almost 100 million participants that found enormous side effects, higher incidences of stroke, Guillain-Barré, heart complications, and what's the word I'm looking for here? Autoimmune disorders. Tons of them. That vaccine needs to be refined. I'm not opposed to the COVID vaccine being pulled and refined. By the way, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I took the COVID vaccine. I had to. I worked in a hospital on the proning team. They pulled the therapists to go prone people because transfers is one of our things. We were the proning team in the COVID wing. But no, the COVID vaccines were not fine. They were not. There's more work to be done on them. Grant Harvard is having a meltdown. Marty Calmer, a review of all this needs to be made. Where are the studies? Let's go. The studies are being released piece by piece, and it will be 2076 before we get to see all of it. William Schmidt, and the amount of fluoride in the drinking water is so low you die of a water overdose before you saw any ill effects of fluoride exposure. Yeah, sure. Maybe to a degree, but the fluoridated water was linked to developmental disorders and lower cognitive skills. I mean, to a degree. Again, I'm not saying that I know for certain that we should pull all the fluoride, but RFK is not a loon for saying this. There is a meta-analysis that says exactly what he's saying. Busta says, people say COVID vax made people blood in their arteries jellify. I don't think that's actually true. Joshua Phillips, there's already plenty of data out. There's a lot out. Cuba, yeah, 1940 guy. Vaccine takes decades to develop. Wake up, yeah, and they did it in 6 months. It needed more time. That's what we're saying. Like, we're not saying vaccines are terrible and never take a vaccine again, but we're saying that vaccine companies need to be held liable for their product. Absolutely. Impossible DRMS. Our water needs to be clean. That's all. California, get rid of fluoride. Once again, you've gotten conned. RFK, A6. RFK is crazy. Pretending otherwise makes you the dumbass. No, RFK is not crazy. He is correct, and you are a dumbass. How about that? Grant Harvard. Do y'all know how bad death would be without vaccination? That is a loaded question, because in the years, like I just said, the years that we have studied these vaccines and their effects, we've also changed our living conditions massively. The availability of medical treatments and the quality of medical treatments. So we don't actually know the answer to that. Now, I am not opposed to vaccines. By the way, I'm not opposed to vaccines. What I am opposed to is the number is crazy, and there are certain vaccines that kids don't need to have. Hep B, for example, your child does not need a hepatitis B vaccine. Not only that, it's not a pediatric vaccine, and babies are given that vaccine on day 1. They removed thimerosal from pediatric vaccines in 01 because they found out that it was harmful and it was causing developmental disorders. But now they're giving kids shots like flu shots and certain types of flu shots, actually. Not all flu shots, but certain types of flu shots, Hep B, and other such vaccines that do have thimerosal and other harmful products in them. So there's lots that goes into that. Rodolfo Erdogan, are you overweight? I mean, by a BMI standard, yes, but that's because I'm an athlete. I weigh like 195 and I'm 5'10". But as far as like body comp, I'm probably like 15% body fat, maybe 12. Justice Tylo, Seattle Live with Common Sense, beautiful. I'm out of Tacoma. Hey, I was born at St. Joe's in Tacoma. King Master Lord, no one's against vaccination. We're against bad vaccines. We're against bad science, yeah. Roseanne Allen, you're wrong. COVID vaccines have saved more people than have died. How do you know that? There's no way. That statement is impossible to prove. Jeff Bow, in Europe, there are almost 80 banned foods made in the States. Yeah, we eat poison. You're right. Gradandine, heavy metals cause autism. They can be correlated to it. I'm not, especially the way that it is in vaccines. It's really hard to say anything with certainty in that regard, but there is definitely a correlation. But I think it has more to do with the pollutants in our water, like runoff from fields, getting into everything. Westbake, there are almost 0% autistic people amongst the Amish. That is not true, actually. There are far fewer than there are among the general population, but there's actually, I work with a therapist. I shouldn't say I work with therapists anymore. I know a therapist who goes out and works with Amish people, and she treats kids who have autism. So there are some. Lamello, thank you for informing people with truths. Oh, that's what I'm doing. Grant Harvard, it can't cause autism. We all vaccinated. RFK is crazy. Okay, first of all, saying it can't, saying it's asserting a negative is the least scientific thing you can do, because science doesn't tell you that sort of thing. It tells you it's likely and unlikely. I'm not talking about autism. I'm talking about other vaccine side effects, but sure. Josh Phillips, yeah, about the time vaccines got very popular and used a lot, at the same time the chemicals are being introduced to our foods. Yeah, lots of other stuff like that. Eric McCambly, do you believe a direct correlation between marijuana use is linked to autism? No, but I believe that marijuana use is linked to a decrease in cognitive performance, and over time it can actually be destructive to your brain. It's the THC. Your cognitive function can be, but it's more prominent in people that smoke it, by the way. So it may be something that's only with the smoking versus the edibles. I don't know. You shouldn't smoke weed, by the way. It's terrible for your lungs. If you're going to consume marijuana, use edibles. That's my opinion. That's not medical advice. It's just my opinion. Grant Harvard, Trump wants a bunch of crazies in his cabinet to weaken disagree. Black Lab Insanity, Biden wants to start a full-on war and give Trump a mess to deal with. It's at least making it harder to negotiate. That's my opinion. JC Visual, sorry that happened to you, bro. No worries. Roseanne Allen, are you a doctor or medical professional? Yes, I am a occupational therapist. Gradindian, I think vaccines could be made better using UVC light instead of chemicals. I actually don't know the answer to that. To thee says some people are allergic to penicillin. Doesn't mean penicillin is bad. Yeah, that's true. Busta says Preparing Act 2005. PREPA Act, yeah. Check. Yes, that's it. I'm going to scroll down a bit because I've lost the chat. Sorry, guys. Mug. Hey, Mug. Mug is here. Mug says, hi, Jack. Just got out of school listening to you instead of the radio. Oh, I'm flattered. That's awesome. BP Slick, I had the chicken pox. Got 2 weeks of school off. It was awesome. Parents had their kids get chicken pox on purpose. Yeah, I had chicken pox when I was a kid. Jeff Bow, I think most swinging the word of autism doesn't even know what it is. I know people that talk about autism, like so many people think that autism just means that you're stupid, and that is not what it is. Estella Orm, polio-vax history has been rewritten. It's the first major lie the additional vax schedule was based on. That is actually true. Attack Button Gaming, hot take, polio was already phasing out. The vaccine did dick. I don't know how true that is. Cosmic Show says CDC says, jeez. Let me get down here a bit because I'm so far behind, guys. Sorry. Let me get down here. Jane, we need investigative journalism for the problem I mentioned. Sorry, I didn't see what you mentioned, but I got lost. Cosmic Show, someone tried to link marijuana with the tism. Hilarious. Yeah, no. Main man, bro, shut up and get a life. You don't know shit. Sure, but I'm still gonna sit here and talk, and if you don't like it, leave. Jimmy Johnson, opinions are like assholes. Everyone has them. That's right. Wolfbite RW. Will RFK solve the mental health crisis and dismantle the mental health industry? I doubt it. There's too much power there. But the thing I always tell people, I made a video about this as well. ADHD, autism, and ADHD, anxiety, and depression. The medications for those three conditions, many of them are very destructive to your kidneys. If you can work your way through those things without the medication, you're probably better off. That's not to say that if the medication is saving your life, you shouldn't take it. And of course, you should always talk to a doctor. But it's... yeah, those you have to be aware of how many medications you're taking. And by the way, you shouldn't be, unless you have some sort of rare condition, you shouldn't be 20 years old and taking meds. You just shouldn't. But there's so many 20 and 30-year-olds on meds. It's insane. I've seen 30-year-olds in the hospital, like 35-year-olds in the hospital that have been taking ADHD meds since they were 3 or 4, and they're in kidney failure at 35, having to get dialysis. It's crazy. Let me scroll down just a little bit. Royal Clanky, that's factually false. Polio is still prevalent in countries that don't have access to polio vaccine. Again, I'm not sure about all that. King Master Lord, autism does not equal stupid. It's associated with above average intelligence. Actually, a lot of professional chess players are autistic. Joe Walker, you should get a job, numbnuts. I have a job. I have a great job. I love my job. I'm a therapist, and yeah, I love occupational therapy, and I think it's the best as far as like medical, the medical field. I think it's the best one to be in. Do I think transing the kids will get abolished? They'll try, but I don't know. People will probably come back to it. Guys, it's time for me to end the stream. Thanks for hanging out. Subscribe if you would like to. I do these streams pretty regularly. Give a thumbs up if you haven't yet, and I'll see you next time. Bye.